Welcome to another interesting edition of the Economy and Politics Show, where we bring you conversations around the economy and how it affects the populace. Today, we will be discussing rethinking policy strategies to unlock opportunities in Nigeria's digital economy, which has become the frontier of development in the country and growth. With me to have this conversation is Mr. Shina Badaru. He is the founder and chairman of Technology Times, and he joins us through the audio platform. Nice to have you on the show, Mr. Shina Badaru.
Thank you very much, World TV by Bushia, for inviting me.
Yes, thank you very much. Before we begin this conversation, let's take you through a wrap-up of what happened last week in the economic space. First, the federal government of Nigeria gave its state oil company, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the green light to acquire a 20% stake in the Dangote oil refinery for $2.76 billion. According to the Minister of State Petroleum, Mr. Timothy Silva, the decision was taken at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting. Also last week, the Central Bank of Nigeria issued the guidelines for licensing and regulation of payment services holding companies in Nigeria. These new guidelines, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria, will ensure that all stakeholders adhere to strict compliance and the regulations. The guidelines covers companies providing switching and processing services alongside mobile money services. We take a short break, and when we return, we'll have this very interesting conversation.
You've created an FCMB Business Zone merchant account. Fantastic! An important way to make the most of your merchant account is by listing your products and services on your profile. Nothing beats letting your customers know what your business is all about and the values you offer. To upload your products and services on the Business Zone, follow these quick and easy steps. Log into your Business Zone merchant account. On the left sidebar of your dashboard, click on Offered Services drop-down, then Manage Offered Services. Click on Add Service to add your service. Don't have a Business Zone merchant account yet? Please visit businesszone.fcmb.com/signup to create one. For technical support, please send an email to smehelpdesk@fcmb.com. Upload your products and services on the Business Zone today and make the most of the new opportunities to expand your business.
CMB, my bank and I.
Welcome back. And if you're joining us, we're looking at rethinking policy strategies to unlock opportunities in Nigeria's digital economy. My guest today is Mr. Shina Badaru. Let's begin first, Mr. Badaru, with the fact that there's need to scale the investment and upgrade of broadband infrastructure in Nigeria. In getting this interview, of course, we've seen the challenge already in terms of the fiber optics connectivity, various investments, needs to scale the connectivity. We're also aware that the federal government has its National Digital Economy Plan, the NDEPS, which is supposed to unlock the opportunities, reduce the right-of-way issues, and also create an enabler for investment in broadband. So far, how would you assess the progress in this regard? Last time we had the conversation, you said that we need to ensure that most states adopt the right-of-way. You encourage Nigerians to tell their state governors to adopt it. Kwara, Kaduna, and Ekiti states are the three that have so far created an enabler.
Okay, thank you very much, first of all, for having me. Straight to the point, the situation or the circumstances that warranted my call then for a second-tier adoption of that ambitious federal government roadmap plan for growing broadband in Nigeria, or for growing the digital economy, or leveraging Nigeria as a knowledge economy driven by technology and ICT enabled infrastructure has not changed one bit. So much more than ever before, we've seen the critical need for state governments to come on board that national broadband plan. And Lagos State, Kaduna, and a few other states seems to be showing some considerable and commendable strides in this regard by coming up with plans for uh, broadband connectivity, by coming up with smart city plans that are supposed to bring some of these things to not just the doorsteps of citizens of their state, particularly educational institutions, but also leveraging technology in the delivery of public service to their citizenry. So that hasn't changed. That's the first thing to acknowledge. Much more than ever before, it's even now more crucial, urgent, and exceedingly prevailing that they go that route. Talking about the national broadband plan, so thus far, it's important that this conversation is coming around or coming up at a time where we're also looking back to 20 years after the launch of what's popularly referred to as GSM phones in Nigeria on the digital mobile infrastructure of the bigger telcos. It's now much more important for us to sit back and take a look back at government deciding to rename the traditional Ministry of Communications as Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. The government or the ministry has already rolled out several roadmaps beyond the national broadband plan. There's been the digital economy roadmap plan, which is quite ambitious, which is quite elaborate in terms of its the key plans that is set to achieve in converting that plan into meaningful action in order to achieve a technology-driven economy. So, thus far, the roadmap is on course. Thus far, the numbers are growing. Thus far, there is more and more for that national plan to cascade down to the state governments, to the several other layers or tiers of government, states, local government, and other institutions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Badaru. It's very clear that the second tier level of implementation will drive this and make it more viable for the country. So that will be the message, the advocacy, that the second tier level continues to drive the broadband penetration, creating the enabler for this to happen. Now, you mentioned 20 years of telecommunications sector, and yes, there's been a lot of gains in terms of the fact that the telecommunications subsector of the ICT, that's information communication technology, has been driving growth at double digits so far, and that's remarkable. Created jobs, supported the issue of the digital economy. But moving forward, what are the top three areas you'd like to see more activities or synergy from the telco that will support the digital economic growth in Nigeria?
Okay, let me quickly rephrase. I didn't say 20 years of telecoms in Nigeria. I just basically refer to it as the 20th year. First of all, in January 2001, the Nigerian Communications Commission auctioned licenses for the digital mobile telephony operators. Three of those licenses were sold at that period for a princely sum of $25 million. Part of the license rollout obligations for the operators in that year was for them to, it's a month of August that followed the sale of this spectrum, for them to roll out service across Nigeria. So that happened successfully in August 2001 when Econet Wireless, as it was known at that time, and MTN Nigeria rolled out their services across the country. However, to correct a very popular notion that's generally bandied around, before the entry of these mobile operators, which we generally or popularly refer to as GSM operators, there were private telephone operators, there were fixed wireless operators at that time. What happened at that time, why government took that bold decision, was partly because the existing operators, including the giant operator at that time, which is NITEL, the pioneer, yes, telecommunications limited, the pioneer national operator, were not able to achieve the yearning desires of Nigerians to have affordable, available, and accessible phone service across the geographically dispersed locations across Nigeria. If we go by the stats, at that time we had among Niger and the existing operators, we usually refer to them as PTOs in that era. Among them, the total subscription or total install capacity of 750,000 lines, and just about 500, which is just about 500,000, were working at that time. So it was just not possible that could cater for a nation of over 150 or 120 million people at that time. So when the bigger operators came in, they were able to scale up quickly in terms of ensuring mobile telephony penetration, so much so that by the end of June this year, we have a combined 187 million phone lines, up from 500,000 lines in August that year. And we have over 140 million internet subscription, up from a number that we can't even report today because the numbers were quite paltry. We also have 75 million broadband connections today. So you can see what people in the tech sector say when they say leapfrog. So in terms of the numbers, we've been able to hit the numbers. Today, yes. So today, there's no way in which you would tell my much younger contemporaries that back then we used to go queue up in phone booths that didn't have service.
Yes, those days, yeah.
Today you walk into a nearby what's it called?
Sure.
Telco
shop.
And in
get your SIM card.
30 minutes, you're up and running if you meet all the requirements for a phone line. So that's a huge leap. And it's also the infrastructure, both existing and the ones that the mobile phone operators were able to bring to bear or to complement the network, was able to provide that infrastructure that is powering so many fantastic services that several other sectors of the economy are providing. For instance, if you look at the banking industry, we've gone from the years of PAMI number to various e-channels, e-banking, mobile banking, and today the industry and the telcos are looking at mobile, have rolled out mobile money, are rolling out mobile money services. So that leap or the entry of those bigger telcos has been able to provide a platform for so many other complementary services that wouldn't have existed if we didn't have that kind of bandwidth, investment, infrastructure, innovation, radical new thinking that they brought to bear, and it's a fantastic time in our national life that calls for commendation for those investments, that calls for celebration of their visionary and frontier thinking. That also calls for us to collectively pat them in the back, because when they were coming in 2001, there was so much caution, there was so much concern, there was so much withdrawal. Look, the people coming into this market, it's not likely, it's not possible that anyone or any other institution will be able to take telephony away from our good old Niger. But today, with benefit of hindsight, the only laggard in the market today was the giant of that era. It's becoming gradually, virtually a dinosaur. And the MTNs of this world, who were quite bold in terms of an African-wide expansion from South Africa, and they looked at Nigeria and said that Nigeria was critical to their African expansion. The visionary Nigerian businessman, Dr. Mike Ademiga, who in spite of not being able to roll out in the first among the peers due to the controversy around at that time, came back in 2003. And in August 2003, they also rolled out service. And today, the kind of benefits, the kind of innovation, the kind of phone access that all of these investors, visionaries have brought to the market has radically changed everything for us in this country.
Now, Mr. Shina Badaru, I just wanted to know, you've elaborated on the gains, which is very good, but just in 1 or 2 minutes, what are the top 3 areas that needs to be looked on to scale and support the digital economy from what we've seen in the telcos?
Okay, it's still about taking dial tone across various parts of the country. If you look at the country today, there's this conversation around the telecoms network infrastructure. As we move gradually towards 2023, with Nigeria preparing for another round of general elections, the attention is focusing on the telecom sector in terms of its capability to be able to enable the electronic transmission of election results wherever they happen, as they happen, and in real time. And it's quite inspiring to note that the existing infrastructure on ground may just jolly well be able to enable us achieve that. So, however, based on coming back to your question, it's still largely about those pockets or areas of what I would call oases in this massive desert of telecoms infrastructure. We still have places where either because those communities are not commercially viable for the big operators, or because of inability to access, and even because of insecurity in some parts of the country, we still have places that have those dots of lack of telecoms infrastructure. So those are the critical issues there. The other issue is still about bringing the telecoms backbone, bringing fibre to every doorstep in this country is an ambitious task. That just like it was ambitious in 2001, and it was done, so it could also still be done. I'm very passionate about taking fibre to every educational institution in this country, so much so that any child, any student can sit in their educational institution and be able to plug into the vast body of knowledge existing on the internet, be able to connect to any library, be able to feel or take internet connectivity for granted, as well as the kind of channel or access that it provides to knowledge, particularly knowledge that is adaptable to the world that they will be living in the not too distant future. So those are some of the key areas. And also in terms of collectively collaborating with our regulator, the Nigerian Communications Commission, to successfully auction 5G spectrum so that Nigeria too can join the world. The conspiracy theories around 5G, the health concerns, and some of the concerns have been expressed about that technology. It's been shown in other jurisdictions that these concerns are not founded on verifiable scientific facts. So there are several international organizations monitoring that, and we should embrace 5G and let it take us to the next level.
All right, sir. We go on a very short break, and when we return, we'll ramp up this interesting conversation.
You've created an FCMB Business Zone merchant account. Fantastic! An important way to make the most of your merchant account is by listing your products and services on your profile. Nothing beats letting your customers know what your business is all about and the values you offer. To upload your products and services on the Business Zone, follow these quick and easy steps. Log into your Business Zone merchant account. On the left sidebar of your dashboard, click on Offered Services drop-down, then Manage Offered Services. Click on Add Service to add your service. Don't have a Business Zone merchant account yet? Please visit businesszone.fcmb.com/sign up to create one. For technical support, please send an email to smehelpdesk@fcmb.com. Upload your products and services on the Business Zone today and make the most of the new opportunities to expand your business.
CMB, my bank and I.
Welcome back. Shina Badaru, it's very nice discussing around the thinking policy strategies on how we can unlock the opportunities in Nigeria's digital economy. As we wrap up, what in the next 2 minutes, what is the outlook for Nigeria's digital economy, and how does policy strategy help to galvanize this?
Okay, first of all, the outlook for the Nigerian digital economy is now more reassuring than ever before. You will notice that President Muhammad Buhari has renamed the Ministry of Communication as Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, which is that name change in itself is a major landmark and major turning points that at the highest level, at the highest political level in this country, there's that recognition that we can no longer shy away from being part of that digital economy. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the ministry has also been able to take some visionary, bold steps, coming up with a roadmap plan, coming up with strategic plans, coming up with the policy framework and things for us to match the remaining part of the visionary developmental equation is now for us to match word with action. Match word with action in key areas as to allowing the the rollout of 5G services, promoting a national state broadband plan. What I mean by that, yes, we have a broadband document at the national level, but it can only be that unless the various state government, unless the local government, unless several other tiers of government buy into it and adopt the path most suited to their agenda to use technology to deliver services to their populace, to see technology as a critical pivot in our collective national economic development aspiration, and to also see technology as part and parcel or as a sine qua non in our diversification from reliance on just oil.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Shina Badaru, for those very clear words. It's important that we leverage technology and see it as a key driver of our diversification of our revenue as an economy. Thank you once again, Mr. Shina Badaru, founder and chairman of Technology Times, for this interesting conversation.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. And that'll be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics Show. You can join our website, www.prochange.com, to watch our videos, read our reports and analysis. Also, you can, if you have questions and views about this conversation, send your views and comments to otobasi.abasekong@prochange.com, and we'd like to hear from you what you have to say around the conversation on digital economy in Nigeria. Also, follow our social media platforms displayed on the screen to get further updates on the economy and the markets. To come your way again, don't forget this period, you need to stay safe. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.